next we have Nicolas from Groupe La Poste, who will be talking about identification and authentication. Hello, Nicolas.
Hello, Graika.
How are you? Can you hear us okay?
Yeah, I'm here well. Thank you
Perfect.
for having me.
Yes, you're all good. So the stage is yours. I'll let you take it away, and then I'll come and meet you here on stage in about 20 minutes so we can have a chat about any questions that the audience members might have.
Okay, thank you. See you soon.
See you soon. Go for it.
So hello, everybody. Thank you for being here. So I'm here today to talk about l'identité numérique of La Poste. So first, I will talk to you about, excuse me, little issue. Okay, I'm back. I will talk a little about me. So I'm Nicolas Bigand. I'm the CTO and CEO of l'identité numérique La Poste. So I'm in charge of research, architecture, all the development team, the security and the conformity of the solution, and all the technical and support for customer and business client. So I worked for 2 years at La Poste, and before I was 15 years at Thales, where I developed more than 10 products at high-level security. I, for example, work on IP encryptor, on key provisioning system, on virtualization security, and also on processor of security. So now let's come back to identity. So which problem do we solve? Say, for you, say, how can you verify online the identity of a new customer? So with l'identité numérique, we give you a digital proof of identity. So, but this is quite normal, as you said. We can find different solutions. So what is our differentiation? So our differentiation is our security level. We use the eIDAS substantial level of assurance. So what is eIDAS? eIDAS is a regulation that frames in Europe the digital identity. It's a regulation on electronic identification and trust services for all electronic transactions. And in France, it's the ANSSI that guarantees the service security. ANSSI is the French National Security Agency, which has developed a certification and qualification processes for French companies. And in this time, l'identité numérique La Poste in the only eIDAS substantial identity, which is qualified by ANSSI in France. So now let me go a little deeper in eIDAS. So in eIDAS, there is 3 levels of assurance. The first one is the low level of assurance. In fact, it corresponds to single factor. It's login password. And there is no guarantee of identity on it. And in the second level, there is substantial level. In this level, you have a proof of identity and you have also 2-factor authentication. So you will have, for example, something you have and something you know. So in terms of security, it's equal to a banking face-to-face process. And you also have high level. In high level, you will have stronger security constraint, like you will need a smart ID card or a physical token. And in terms of security, it will be equal to sovereign process face-to-face, like the one you can find in border control. And for us, we choose substantial level because it's a perfect equilibrium in terms of security and user experience. Because in terms of user experience, low level is very nice, but there is no need of security. But the high level can have a bad experience for user. And the substantial level, you have also user experience as also security. And also the second reason is substantial level cover most of business identification need. You will find this need in onboarding processing, in the know your customer process, on management acts and advanced signature. All of these business needs that you can find in different companies are met with substantial level. For this company, you don't need to have high level of security or high level of eIDAS, what is it? And in fact, there is many sectors that need a trans identification solution, in particular, so subject to strict and evolving regulatory framework. For example, in public sector, in banking with all the framework from DSP2, for example, in insurance to be sure about your customer, in sharing economy to be sure with the other party that you want to work with, in gambling, for example, to be sure that the people that gambling are more than 18 years, in e-commerce for the people, for to be sure the people will buy the item. Also, the postal service.
Very sorry to interrupt, Nicolas, but just for the audience experience, can you please move the share the screen bar at the bottom just a little bit lower so it's not blocking your slides?
Excuse me.
Perfect. No worries.
Okay, you're good. So for the health customer also, you need to be sure about the customer that's going in the hospital. And for all this sector, they all have the similar needs. They want to identify or authenticate people in order to make an authorization, make a physical access, make a data sharing, or also ask a signature for a customer. So now let me discuss you about how L'identité Numérique work. So we have a process. The first step of process is we make a verification of the identity of the people at substantial level. We have three ways of doing it. One way is at your home. Yeah, there is a postman that's going at your home and verify your identity at substantial level. You can also go to a post office where you can do it in less than 5 minutes. Or in the third way, you can do it totally online, where we will ask you to take a photo of your ID and we ask you a video of you doing some actions that we ask you. And after, there is an operator that will verify all of this data and this video and make the verification. After all these three steps, we have certified personal data with a name, surname, date of birth, place of birth, nationality. All of this is certified and verified. This gives the user a digital proof of identity, and we give him a strong authentication app in order to authenticate himself for other verification needs. So we put a lot of security on strong authentication app. We make it compliant to the substandard eIDAS. We also make it qualified by ANSI, and it is compliant to the strong authentication need in DSP2. So this gives the user a universal key with this app and this digital proof of identity. He have an easy and secure way to prove his identity and access hundreds of online services. And for organization, they have certified personal data that they use into onboarding, for example, on services. So the benefits for your company and customer are numerous. For organization, they have a digital proof of identity which will be compliant with the regulation. So, and they have strong authentication meant for their users, so they will avoid them fraud and give identity self-protection for their user. Also, they have certified identity data and contact detail already verified. So this will be left operation and less back-end operation for organizations. So they will give them productivity gain. And they also give them streamlined customer journey because all the user experience will be improved because there will be less step, less verification, less upload of ID, for example. All of this will be made by L'identité Numérique. And for user, it's a single ID and single password to remember in order to connect to multiple online services. It's a time service connection, time-saving solution, excuse me, because it will take him less time to onboarding on different services, and it will be less time to connect to different services. And in the final, it will be a fraud also and a identity set protection because it will be very hard to save this L'identité Numérique of him. I will give you now an example of online subscription with L'identité Numérique. So first, on your website, you have a button to click with the one yellow, because at La Poste, we love yellow. So you click on Utiliser l'identité numérique. There is a screen of identification where on the next year, the user will put his phone number to authenticate himself. After, there is a screen that asks him to go to the application. On the application, he should have a notification that asks him to put his PIN code number. So he put his PIN code, and it's finished. His authenticate. He can come back on your website where we ask him a consent about the data that will be shared. He can control the data. We will show him which type of data he will share with the user, and we ask him the consent. So after he consents to share, all the data is received by the website, and it can be used, for example, to fulfill data on onboarding process. And now I will talk about our API strategy. So we choose to build a solution on modern and secure standard. We want the organization to easily integrate our solution. So we choose, for example, OpenID protocol, which is one of the most used protocol for identification. We use also JWT, which is a web token format to exchange data between our backend and the client backend. And all of this use HOP2 protocol. So we really choose standard protocol, and all of this protocol we can find in most software that company already have in our house. For example, EIM solution. And if the client doesn't have it, you can use an open source library that will connect OpenID very, very easily. So let me show you how to integrate our API. So the action you will have to make is first add your identity numeric button and adapt your client journey in the front website. The click on the button will call your backend, and your backend will make the API call. It's REST call based on OpenID, and there is only 4 REST requests for all the journey. The REST request will call our backend. On backend will discuss with the application of the client. The application with the client will make the authentication of him. And after the authentication is done, our backend will give the client the identity data of the client, and it's finished. You just have to close requests, and you have authenticate your client very easily. So now I would like to speak about security because it's very important for us. So we make it, I would like 2 ways: security by design and security by lifecycle. So by design, we securize OpenID protocol because there is many parameters, and we use the ANSI guide, for example, for helpers. We securize all the exchange with TLS. We secure also the mobile app communication and the backend communication of us. We choose a solution with ANSI CSPN. We also have perimeter security. We have many firewall, many WAF. We also have a redundancy. We have a full redundant system, and we have also redundancy with 2 data centers at different locations. And security by design is not enough. We have also make security during the life cycle. So we make regular audit and pen testing of our API and also our system by an accredited auditor. In France, it's called the PASI. We also maintaining the operation and the security. We have tools that automatically supervise the security, and we have a regular patch management policies. For all the developments that we made, each iteration, we make a risk analysis based on eBIOS method, and we make peer review with other people of La Poste. And the last but not the least, we have a supervision done by a SOC and a NOC with a dedicated CM that will analyze all the log of our system. So now I will talk to you a little about the feedback that we have. So one of the first clients we have is France Connect, which is France is an aggregator of identity, and that allow us to access to more than 1,000 online sites. The second is a client with a parcel collection. For them, we give them again in productivity for the clients that want to receive parcel. We have several clients in electronic signature. For them, we have integrated from the beginning to the production, we have integrated in less than 1 week solution. So they were very happy. For online gaming clients, we simplify the registration process in order to verify that the person is in France and the process is more than 18 years, for example. And in banking, for the client banking, it's in fact always the subscription process that we make simpler, because there is less operation, less verification, because with l'identité numérique of La Poste, an authentication is equal to a face-to-face in a bank office. And in health, we also simplify the registration process of a patient that want to go to the hospital. And the last, for the e-commerce, which have a solution for register electronic mail, we faster the receiving process by not doing all the verification that the solution have to make by using only authentication with l'identité numérique. So now, let me talk about where we are from. So l'identité numérique is a service provided by the French postal service company named La Poste. La Poste is a French company. We have 250,000 employees. We have, for example, we deliver many items in the world. For example, in 2020, 21 billion items. We have more 18,000 retail outlets in the world, and more than 10,000 in France when you can go and you can make your l'identité numérique. And La Poste is a multi-business group. We have a parcel mail service. We have La Banque Postale, which is banking. We have GeoPost for parcel delivering. And we have also a retail customer and digital business unit. This is where our solution is made. We are a solution which is distributed by DocaPost. DocaPost is an inside company which have more than 23,000 clients, more than 5,000 employees, and more than 100 million in revenue. They have several data centers in France, which where our solutions are. They are all ISO 27001, and they all distribute our solution. So I finish. I'm in the time, so thank you for attention. If you need a question, I'm here, or you can also contact Anton Drebay, our marketing and sales director. So now it's the time for question.
Oh, yes. Thank you, Nicolas. Yeah, I want to start with a question. You shared some of the use cases and the client examples. So are you able to talk a little bit more about some of the examples? So are you seeing some security breaches possibly that come from poor identity management? Either from the client examples that you have, or more broadly in the space?
What we want to avoid is identity theft. For example, if you take banking, you don't want another person that go to the bank and open a credit for him and in place of you. So you want to avoid this kind of data. And so for avoiding it, you need to verify the data and the identity of the person. So either the banking have to have a high process by verifying the person, by making it coming to a bank office, for example. But it's very long and it's not very convenient. So with our solution, we do it for it. And we do it in a way which is compliant and secure to standard. By using eIDAS protocol, we give the standard, it is audited, and it is compliant to already a face-to-face to banking, for example.
Okay. Nice. Thank you. Well, I guess then the flip side, and maybe again, you can talk about some of the clients that you work with. Can you maybe give us an idea of a case where the process has been handled really, really well? So kind of the best practices or the use cases that have really stuck with you as the gold standard of identity management.
So the best use case that we have.
Yeah, what would you say is something that is worth maybe highlighting to the audience as where this has been done really well, so that it's worked?
So one of the best use cases we have is a signature, because when you want to make a signature, for example, administration needs, you need to verify that the person that signed the document for legal purpose is the one. So basically, it is where there is a notaire in France. I don't know the one in English, sorry, but for example, you need to go in a face-to-face processes. So by using our technology, we do it completely online. So during the COVID crisis, we have many businesses that do it in the normal way in the face-to-face that coming to us because they have to make their process fully online. So this is for all the face-to-face verifications that need. We help them very well in the COVID phase because we enable them to continue their business with the COVID.
Yeah. That's actually interesting because, I guess that scene has changed a lot over the last, what feels like for a long time, but we've been in this situation for just under 2 years. So if you think about some of the industries that you work with, where would you say that the process has been the most challenging, or where have we seen the biggest change between how things were maybe done before COVID times and how they're done now when most things are online and digital?
It's not easy because there is many sectors that are changed by the COVID, and what I see is there is a digitalization of many sectors, and all the new online processes need to have the equivalent of security in the old way. So all the existing way when you have to make a face-to-face verification of the ID of the person and that they need to go online. There is many sectors. You can find banking, for example. You can make gambling. Gaming when you can go to the list. You can also in the health sector is a new sector that wants to make onboarding of the result before they go to the hospital.
Okay.
So previously, you go to the hospital, you register. Now they want to do it this way before going to the hospital. So you have to make the verification before. And you need some solution like L'identité Numérique.
Right. Yeah, that makes sense. And I guess the last question to kind of build on the changes, looking ahead 1 or 2 years, assuming that we're on the digitalization trajectory that we're on now, what are are there some developments that you're particularly excited about?
So there is different evolution. There is evolution in regulation and evolution in technology. For example, we'll see a homogenization in the technology for face-to-face in remote. In France, there is the ANSI that make a new regulation which time is PVID. And I see in the 2 years we'll see the same initiative in the European level.
Yeah. Good. Well, thank you for the overview. That was really, really interesting. What's the best way for people to get in touch with you if they want to hear more?
You can contact me directly on the mail that is showing, or contact me, the sales director, Antoine Debray.
Excellent. Thank you very much, Nicolas. Have a good rest of the day.
Thank you.